Let's hop in the Camry, let's see something different, or might as well disappear. Cause time means nothing. It's podcasts and playlists, our friends are the best, so it's time to overshare. We're on the road to New Mexico. We're on the road to New Mexico. Just like a sleepover. Sky with lime. Our front yard's a playground. Sky with lime. For just like a sleepover. Sleepover trust and Diamond Nintendo. The red sauce is high. Daily with the coffee and drama makes it cool. It doesn't define us, only reminds us. Molded from pain, only found in our brain. Diamond Nintendo, the red sauce is high. Alien with the coffee and drama makes it cooler. I'm taking back to New Mexico. Hey, I want to get out of here. Let's hop in the Camry, let's see something different, or might as well disappear. Cause time means nothing. It's podcasts and playlists, our friends are the best, so it's time to overshare. We're on the road to New Mexico. We're on the road to New Mexico. I'm sorry he did that to you. I'm sorry he did that to me. I'm sorry you didn't realize, and that's okay. I'm sorry he did that to you. I'm sorry he did that to me. I'm sorry you didn't realize, and that's okay. I'm sorry he did that to you. I'm sorry he did that to me. I'm sorry you didn't realize, and that's okay. I'm sorry he did that to you. I'm sorry he did that to me. I'm sorry you didn't realize, and that's okay. 'Cause time is nothing. It's only found inside our brains. Oh, it doesn't define us. Oh, it only reminds us. Only found inside our brains. Sky with lime. Front yard's a playground. Sky with lime. For just like a dress like a slave, but they sleep over trust. And the time to Nintendo, the red sauce is hot. Haley with the coffee and Charlo makes it cool. Nothing defines us, only reminds us. All is the name, only found in our brain. Time to Nintendo, the red sauce is hot. Haley with the coffee and Charlo makes it cool. Take me back to New Mexico. We're on the road to New Mexico.
Guys, welcome. Happy Friday to all of you. And I tell you what, thank you for listening to my sonny's, new song. We just finished recording it, and it will be, hold on, just one moment. This is very interesting. I'll get to all these comments, but guys, that was my son's band, Roshi. We've been busy recording, mastering, and that was the latest mix of it. We're still in the studio, and we will be releasing that song within the next couple weeks. It's called New Mexico, right? And it was kind of a trip that he took with his bride, my daughter-in-law, a couple years ago, and that's what they got out of it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, guys, when it comes out, please support my son's band, Roshi. He works very, very hard. And I tell you what, hold on. Let me, hold on. Here it is. G Funky, thank you, brother. God bless you, man. And guys, in case you missed G Funky's wonderful presentation last night, I was fortunate enough to join him, and it was an excellent show. So if you guys missed that, go check it out. I included it in the link on my channel as well. But he says, sounds like Incubus. You know what? That is such a compliment, because I love Brandon's voice on Incubus. And guys, if my voice is a little, gritty, it's because I've been practicing all day, because I'm set to rehearse with the band Seance on Monday. I just became their new lead singer, and I'm trying to get back into stage and recording studio shape. And boy, I've got a lot of work ahead of me, but it's coming along, and I'm still hitting the high notes. Today, I had about a 3-octave range, so I've got a little ways to go. I usually have 3-octave, 3.5 to 4, so I've got quite a ways to work towards that. But man, this stuff is hard when you get old. Want to give a big shout out also to my brother, Tycho TV. Thank you for joining us, sir. I will say this. Also want to thank Will Boxing to the show. Salute, Joseph. I heard they are moving the 16th date for the Charlo Canelo fight. Look, if they want to have the fight in Vegas, then they're going to have to move it. But look, why? It's Mexican Independence Weekend, the 16th. Unless they really, really want that big casino site fee, they're going to keep it on the 16th. If they really want to, that big casino site fee, though, which they very well may, but that would tell me then that the rumors are indeed true, and they're planning, and I've heard this from several people within the business, including a couple of my dear friends, that they're planning on staging in case one of the fighters falls out, right? Jamal Charlo gets hurt or injured or something like that. That they're planning on staging in the co-main event of the evening, Caleb Plant versus Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. And if that's the case, they very well may need the big casino site fee to pay for that fight. But otherwise, guys, look, it makes a lot more sense during Mexican Independence Day weekend to stage that fight in Texas. Now, even though in Minute Maid Park, Houston, Texas, from what I was told. And if they do still keep it there, guys, even though that's the backyard of Jamal Charlo. Guess who's still going to have the great majority of the fans there? Canelo. They love him in Texas. They love him in Texas. In fact, when we fought there, when he fought there last, and he was facing James Kirkland, I was there. And yeah, James Kirkland maybe had about 20 fans, even though he's from Austin, Texas. Andre Finest, welcome to the show, sir. Love you here, man, on the show. And Outlaw says, not done yet. I thought Uncle Al won the ball tickling contest against Fast Eddie for Canelo. Yes, he has. And the only thing that's done right now, from what I've been told, is just the 3-fight deal. And I was given strict orders by everyone involved not to say anything otherwise. Not to say anything about the third fight being Benavidez. Not to say anything about the second fight possibly being Errol Spence Jr. Not to say anything about Jamal Charlo getting the first fight. I've been told not to say anything about all 3 of those fights, Charlo, Spence, or Benavidez, in that order. Even though, guess what, guys? I just did. So there you have it. One of the perks of being an extended WAWR Week Radio family member, TM, thank you to the program, sir. But yeah, guys, surprise, surprise. Big possibility depending on the outcome, or even, it really won't make very much difference because both fights will have been completed if there are indeed 2 fights, right? I have a sneaky feeling, though, if Terrence Crawford wins and he executes a rematch clause, Terrence Crawford may indeed announce his retirement, right? Not just my sneaky feeling. But win or lose, guys, Errol Spence Jr. is now the hot name in the triumvirate that will indeed get Canelo Alvarez. But I will say this, guys. Canelo deserves a ton of credit for making this maneuver. When everyone was calling him Duck Nello, that he was trying to actually avoid the best competition, guys, Canelo's a warrior, and he's brimming with confidence, almost to the point of being arrogant. And he truly believes he is the baddest man on the planet. Like I stated on G Funky show last night, he truly believes that given the right amount of money, he could fight at heavyweight and beat the living shit and knock out Anthony Joshua. He truly believes that, even though he's 5'0", right? Oh, let's see. Outlaw, Charlo and Spence are mismatches against Canelo. You know what, brother? I'm going to invite you. Put your damn headphones on because I want to hear this. I want to hear you justify how these are indeed mismatches. And once again, I love WAWR Week Radio Chats because when I'm actually hosting WAWR Week Radio with James Gogi, or if I'm hosting Real Talk with Rick Glazier, or if I'm hosting Real Boxing with Ronnie Shields, I very seldom get to voice my actual opinion, right? Oh, wait a minute. What is that? I'm trying to do this. Hold on. All right. So I'm putting out the link. Any of you guys who want to actually let me know why you think this is a mismatch, why you think this is a great fight, why you think Canelo actually signed this deal, please put your headphones on and state your case. Let me know exactly what you think. Now, once again, I've been consumed with hosting those 3 shows and then doing G Funkies last night that I really haven't had a chance to, listen to what you guys think really of this fight, right? Andre says, way to go, Joe. What a stand-up brother. You know what, brother? Thank you for saying that. But, it's just part of being a journalist. You have to look at these things objectively in order to, have a clear scope of reality. When you take your emotions out of it, yeah, everything becomes crystal clear. And that's the only way you can be in this sport. And I tell you what, and hold on. I'm working, plus I don't do interviews. Well, it wouldn't be an interview, bro. Why would anyone want to interview you, Outlaw? Who are you? What do you do again? You said you're working. Well, I tell you what, take a little break from your job at Best Buy and then or Walmart and just put your headphones on, man. I'm just jiving, brother. I'm just jiving. I'm sure you have a wonderful career that you're proud of. Also want to give a big shout out to my brother, boxing scientist. Thank you for being here. Canelo es número uno. Well, I tell you what, a lot of people think so. And I tell you what, if he gets the big sweep on the 3 fights on this PBC deal, right? Yeah, you could make a very strong case for him being pound for pound number 1 once again. But right now, guys, I can guarantee you that distinction will indeed go to the winner of Crawford versus Spence. Okay, now look, guys, this is ridiculous. Same ones that were saying Canelo is washed and how could he go 12 against a durable guy like Ryder are the same ones think that he's cherry picking Charlo. Okay, yeah. Once again, those class clowns are never happy. They're going to find anything to complain about, right? Once again, I defy all of you. Now, of course, guys, we all wanted to get that Benavidez fight, right? We all wanted to get that Benavidez fight. And we were all disappointed when he wasn't going to take him on first. But once again, he very well may. Nothing is official just yet, although it is looking like Jermall Charlo. I've been told not to say anything because it isn't official. It's not concrete right now. And I've been given strict orders to say so. Although, guys, I'll let you in on a little secret. Yeah, it's looking very, very good. It's very close. We're almost at the finish line. Okay? But yes, you've got the right idea, Will. Those guys are never happy. And once again, what I'd like to tell all of those guys, well, once again, we're all disappointed that we're not getting Benavidez first, it would seem. Well, what's the best alternative? Who would you rather see him fight than Jermall Charlo at this time? I'll wait. Guys, please let me know what you think. If you can come up with a better candidate and a better style matchup, a more entertaining style matchup, or someone who is seemingly even more deserving than Jermall Charlo, please be my guest. Please fire away. Let me hear what you guys think. Because honestly, I'm at a loss. I can't think of anyone who deserves this fight more. Yeah, I can't think of it, guys. So, yeah, please let him fly if you can think of anyone else who you'd much rather see against Canelo. Let's see. What? Caleb Plant again? You could say David Morrell, but he's definitely not more deserving than Jermall Charlo. Once again, this is a guy who was his mandatory challenger back in 2019, right? And once again, the WBC stepped in and said, don't worry about that. The small potatoes, man. We'll go ahead and give you the franchise distinction, whatever the hell that means. And so you don't have to ever worry about the big bad Charlo ever again. But guys, anyone who thinks this is going to be a walk in the park, well, they really haven't. Well, once again, I always tell you guys are all very smart. And you guys all know what you're looking at. And I always take great pride in that. I tell everyone that the Warwick Radio extended family is among the most intelligent, not only in YouTube, but the entire world as far as boxing fans and knowing what you're looking at. Guys, you know what you're looking at. You know what you're looking at. Consider the style matchup. Consider the attributes of Jermall Charlo. And you understand this is going to be a very competitive fight. Even with the 2-year layoff, And a lot of people are saying, yeah, I see him knocking out Jermall Charlo in 7 or 8. Bullshit. Guys, has Jermall Charlo ever even been knocked down before in his professional career? Guys, I'm here to tell you he's never been knocked down as an amateur or a pro. He's got a very good beard. This fight will go the distance. It will go the distance. Canelo's not getting knocked out. Neither is Charlo. It's going to be a dogfight, though. And that's, who is that advantage of? Who is that advantage for? Well, that's obviously advantage Canelo. Right? And in my opinion, that very well may be Jermall's undoing. Right? Very well may be his undoing. Obviously, he's better off fighting like Dimitri Bivol. Using the jab, his very intelligent sledgehammer jab, to disrupt the timing and rhythm of the prolific counterpuncher. And a lot of people, they make a whole lot out of, well, Canelo doesn't have the greatest footwork. But guys, once again, look at fight tape. He's very proficient, and he's gotten so much better. And he never, unlike David Benavidez, he doesn't cross-step. And he doesn't put himself in a position where he can't counter effectively. If you go back and look at fight tape, he's become very proficient at sliding in and out of the pocket. He's become very proficient at sliding with his opponent, trying to cut off the ring and close the distance effectively. He's very good, so he's always in position to land that hard counter. It's very deceptive, but it's very crafty. Guys, make no mistake about this. Canelo, over the last 3-4 years especially, he's become a complete fighter. He doesn't have very many chinks in the armor. We've seen some bad habits as of late, though. He's fallen in love with his power, which some knockout artists do. And so he stopped throwing in combination. He throws one punch at a time. That's not what got him here. That's not what made him a big star. Creative combination punching to the body and head is what made Canelo. When he throws in combination, guys, it's very hard to predict where he's going to land. Right? So, guys, we're going to dissect this matchup because obviously Coach Gogi didn't want to do it. So we're going to do our best. And guys, look, after learning from Coach Gogi for the last 13 years, 15 years, however long I've studied under him, however long he's been mentoring me, guys, I'm not bad. No, I'm maybe not as proficient as G Funky, but I'm all right. Guys, if you didn't hear G Funky's breakdown last night's action, it was really proficient, fascinating to listen to. So yeah, whenever you can tonight, go back and listen to that program. But thank you, Will Boxing. That's a great comment. Dre says Charlo better be on his A+++ game. Yep. Now, guys, when you look at Jermall Charlo's best performances, this is a guy who traditionally gets up for the big fights. You look at his best performances. Excuse me. What would you say that they would be? Sergey Derevyanchenko, obviously, that was one of the biggest fights of his career, if not the biggest. It was on pay-per-view. And then you could argue also that J-Rock, Julian Williams, was one of the biggest fights of his career. That was a fight that was, well, 50-50 going into that fight. A lot of people were picking J-Rock for the upset. This is before he was handed his first loss. And Jermall knocked him out in the 5th round. He didn't knock out Sergey Derevyanchenko, but it was dominant with scorecards of 116-112, 118-110, and 117-111. Dominant. Those were his 2 biggest fights. Guys, Jermall Charlo historically gets up for the big assignments. That's what he does. And I can guarantee you, Coach Ronnie will have him prepared for Canelo Alvarez. Mind you, boy, Ronnie's had to, well, strategize for Canelo before. And in my opinion, I thought he got the big victory. With Erislandy Lara. He didn't, but we'll see. Once again, he's got a much better specimen this time. I'm not saying he's a better fighter than Erislandy in his prime, but I will say taller, rangier, more athletic. This is a guy who could easily be a pro athlete in another sport if he had that skill set. He is a world-class athlete, guys. He's a specimen, and he's always in shape. Coach Ronnie told me that right now he's walking around at about 189. Okay? That's only about 20 pounds off right now, and we're 3 months away from the fight, right? Dre also says this, it's going to be a great fight, even though I would have liked to have seen that fight at 54 and 60. Yes. Keep in mind, guys, Canelo and Jamal have been coming up at the same time. Why didn't we see that fight at 154? Well, I'll tell you why. Because that was when the Cold War had started between PBC, Al Heyman, and Oscar De La Hoya Golden Boy Promotions. That's why. So there was no chance of that fight being made at 54 and 60. But now that Canelo is no longer affiliated with Golden Boy Promotions, boy, that ship has sailed a long time ago. We're getting the fight now. All right? No, it's not as sexy as it would have been at 54 and 60. 3, 4, 5 years ago. But it's better late than never. And like I stated, what matchup would be better at this time aside from David Benavidez? And a fighter who's more deserving of this assignment than Jamal Charlo. I'll wait. Let me know. Also want to give a big shout out to my brother Juice. Salute Mr. Heron and the amazing Warwick family. Yes, sir. You guys are amazing. Brag about you guys all the time. Will says, yeah, G Funky. Yeah, they love narratives. Many are quite right now. I think he meant to say quiet. G Funky says, Canelo likes to step first with the rear foot. Only sharp boxers can pick up on it like Bevel. Yeah, ones with exceptional footwork. Once again, Jamal is very, very athletic, has very good footwork, and he was able to keep a guy like Sergey Derevyanchenko, who's very proficient at cutting off the ring and closing the distance very quickly. He was able for most of the fight to keep him on the end of that sledgehammer jab. And he used it intelligently, using disjunct intervals. So he couldn't anticipate when it was going to, when Jamal was going to let him fly. Mixing in feints, mixing in touch jabs with those hard sledgehammer jabs to the body, chest, and head. Guys, if Maul is still Maul, this is going to be a very difficult assignment for Canelo. But I will say this. He's got to establish that jab early. He's got to put that immediately in Canelo's head. That's it. Jesus M. Saludos to you, brother. Welcome to the program, sir. It's good of you to join us on this beautiful Friday afternoon, early evening. Jay says, Benavidez, he's got a bad habit of squaring up. He's got atrocious footwork, guys. If you can catch him doing that atrocious cross step, yeah, you can actually take advantage of that. And I see Morrell doing that if they ever fight. Morrell has exceptional footwork. He does exceptional work at every range. In my opinion, it's just my opinion now, David Morrell starches everyone at 168. Canelo, Benavidez. Yeah. And Coach Ronnie said it best. I said, who's his toughest assignment? Who would be his toughest fight? And he said himself. And there it is. Wheel Boxing said, do you think Eddie Hearn is hurting Joseph? I don't know. Let's find out. Guys, in a recent interview with IFL TV, this is what Eddie Hearn had to say about the 3-fight deal with Al Heyman and Steven Espinoza. He said, I spoke to him last night. I mean, we haven't got anything for Canelo. We haven't made him an offer. And I knew he was going to be making a move on the Charlo fight, but I am a bit surprised about the 3-fight deal. I don't know the details of it, but yes, I'm a little surprised. But, to be honest, I think it's a good move for him. He's at a stage right now where he's probably at the closing phase of his career. We've done, I think, his last 7 out of 8 fights because we've had the actual opponents and the fights that he needed at the time. We couldn't make the Bivol fight. Therefore, I don't have a fight for him. So he's going to make his move, and I think it's a good move for him, in all honesty. If he can fight Charlo, if he can fight Benavidez, and I understand the move. For us, we have to look now at the big pot that's now available to make big fights, and not just one night that would be with Canelo Alvarez, but making a string of big fights on the platform. Now, that's what I'll be tasked with. So those conversations that have been bubbling in the background, that certain fights we might have not been able to get over the line for budget reasons, well, now we can. So no middle finger. There are big opportunities and a lot of potential. End quote. Guys, do you believe it? Do you believe it? Do you believe it? Now, once again, they can use all of that Canelo money to make the best fights possible on his own. I hope that's the case. I would love to see Berlanga versus Jaime Munguia. I would love to see Ryan Garcia versus maybe, I don't know, maybe. Wouldn't that be a great fight, guys? But I don't know very many big money matchups that he would be referring to. I know that it was just announced, and this is on paper a great fight. Sonny Edwards versus Jesse Bam Rodriguez from San Antonio, Texas. Once again, I called his pro debut. I was the ring announcer that night for TMB Promotions. And it's a real joy to watch him become a world champion. And even back when he was an amateur, I knew he was going to be great. But is it going to play out that way, guys? What do you think? Oh, shit, making fun of my English. Hello, Governor. Outlaw says, DAZN must not be happy with Fast Eddie after investing so much money and time on Canelo. If you must know, just from what I've been told, and I can't tell you who told me this on the air, but it is indeed someone who works at Matchroom Sport. I'm supposed to keep this on the down low, but I won't disclose who told me, so I can tell you if you guys promise to keep it on the down low. That's not the reason why they're very unhappy with Eddie Hearn. It's not losing Canelo. They understood. They're like, look, after the last 3 fights and us not making really any money, and they've been terribly expensive, you're going to have to give us some favorable matchups that would yield the kind of investment dollars that we're looking for, or else we're not interested. Guys, you could say that Canelo was forced to go look elsewhere for greater opportunity. Okay? But I will say this. That's not the reason why they're terribly unhappy with Eddie Hearn. Because he seems to be, well, fixated in putting all of these matchups in Saudi Arabia. And what's going to happen? Look, guys, for these mammoth purses in Saudi Arabia that the Saudis are putting up, that's not just for the site fee, guys. They want the broadcast rights as well. They want the licensing. So what's going to happen? So Eddie Hearn, quite literally, is biting figuratively and literally. He's biting the hand that's feeding him. All the TV dates that DAZN is giving him. Well, he's basically saying, I really don't give a shit because compared to the money that the Saudis are offering us, well, you can kiss my ass. I don't care. Everyone happy with Eddie Hearn at this time because he doesn't give a shit. Like, once again, there's a reason why Al Heyman, let's use Bob Arum, right? There's a reason why Bob Arum didn't put together Terrence Crawford versus Manny Pacquiao, because the investors from Abu Dhabi, they put up $40 million. That was the site fee request that Manny Pacquiao and Top Rank were requesting. But for that $40 million, they also wanted the broadcast rights. They also wanted the licensing. And Bob was like, hell no, we're getting all of our TV dates from ESPN. They are our broadcast partners. There's no way in Hades I would do that to ESPN. They've been very good to us, and they furnish each and every one of our dates. Right? And look at Al Heyman. He says, well, you know what, Terrence? I don't give a shit what your guys are bringing to the table, $50 million, like that's a real offer. But even if it were, I'm not going to give them the broadcast rights. No, I'm not biting the hand that feeds. Steven has been very good to us this year and last year. And he's the only network that's giving us TV dates at this time. There's no way in hell I would do that to him in potentially the biggest fight on the calendar. But guys, that's exactly what Eddie Hearn is doing to DAZN at this time. And I think it's an understatement if I say, yeah, they're very unhappy at this time with Eddie Hearn. And I will say this, brother, DAZN, please give these TV dates in America to a promoter who actually can use them wisely. Guys, what cities? Oh, hold on. I'll answer this in a second, my friend, but thank you for the comment, Outlaw. And I'm glad I was there to clarify that for you guys. Welcome, Kamikaze. Chingao, Joseph, this fight isn't set yet. Saludos, mi amigo. Saludos to you. Thank you for joining us, friend. I will. Can you guys hear me? Put my hotspot on real quick, guys. Looks like I have some. All right, let's switch to this. Just one moment. Hold on, just one moment. For some reason, this is not cooperating, my computer. Okay, I got it. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, I'll just use my hotspot for backup. It should be back online. But yeah, it's not set yet, brother. But I will let you in on a little secret. And I already stated this in the outset of the show. Guys, it's looking very favorable for Jamal Charlo and Ronnie Shields. That, yes, they are indeed going to get this assignment. It would have to take something drastic to derail this for Mr. Charlo and Mr. Shields. But no, they have a lot of details to cover. So, but expect it to be announced very, very soon. But and just to make sure, guys, before I went live, I called up my brother Ronnie and I said, look, it's the title of the show. Canelo versus Charlo, not done yet. And is that accurate still, Ronnie? He goes, yep. And I haven't heard anything within the past 2 hours, but everything still looks favorable. It's just not finished yet. That's all. So, guys, that's all I can report right now. But I can tell you that the candidates for the big three, even though none of them are set in stone, are indeed, as this order follows: Jamal Charlo, Errol Spence Jr., and David Benavidez. Guys, if Canelo does indeed choose those three assignments as his next three opponents, no one can say, win or lose, no one can say a damn thing about Canelo from this point forward. That is one bad dude. who wants all the shit. He wants all the smoke, brother. And you got to respect it. You got to tip your hat to him. Joey Chaz here, he says the Mexicanos are too powerful. This base, they stick together. Well, they currently are pretty much carrying boxing on their shoulders at this time in America. They're the only But guys, let me know what you think. Does he win all three? Guys, am I breaking me? Because it looks like I'm getting some interference. No, it looks like I'm fine now. But I will say this, guys, does he lose any of these? In your mind, guys, please let me know what you think. And if you have your headphones on, please click the link and you can actually tell everyone what you think on the air. Here you go. I'm disclosing the link once again. Guys, if you have your headphones, please let me know what you guys think. Or if you don't or can't talk at this time, let me know what you think about Canelo's chances in sweeping, making the sweep, winning all three. Charlo, Spence, Benavidez. What are your thoughts, guys? Because I think those are all fantastic fights. If he actually chose all three of those guys as his next three opponents, I think we would all be extremely happy, guys. Win or lose, like I said, he could lose all three, and I'd still be very, very happy. And there's not I couldn't say a bad thing about Canelo. It'd be very difficult to say anything negative about Canelo, because those are all great, big money, fan-friendly fights. And that's great for the health of the sport. Now, I will say this. Outlaw says, Bam versus Sonny is a great fight. Yes, on paper. Guys, it's got the makings of a real stinker. One, I'll say this because I've been covering Bam Rodriguez's entire career. He has a lot of problems with lateral movement. He is best when someone wants to trade with him in the pocket. He'll shred you like a piece of tissue paper. But when someone forces him out of the pocket and he's forced to adopt the role of effective aggressor, he's not so effective. Sonny has a very good chance of winning this fight if they favor the fighter who couldn't punch themselves out of the paper bag. Guys, as I've stated on this show before, Sonny Edwards has a lot of wasted motion. And he reminds me of Yuri Foreman. Go back and watch his fights against Daniel Santos as well as Miguel Cotto. And it's not very good for the fans. Like I said, great fight on paper. Well, it's not going to look so great in the ring. And also, I'll say this. Once again, guys, DAZN, give these damn fight dates to someone who actually understands the U.S. market. I don't know if you guys know this. Probably not, because it hasn't been announced. But I know this. It's slated for December 13th, I think. And it's going to take place in Phoenix, Arizona. Why would you put a Londoner versus a guy from the Alamo City, San Antonio? Why would you put that fight in Phoenix? Now, according to Robert Garcia, right? He said, Joseph, first they wanted us to fight in London. I told them, go fuck yourself. No way in hell. And he goes, I said, hey, why can't we have the fight in San Antonio? Well, because Sonny Edwards doesn't want to have it in Bam Rodriguez's hometown. If it's not going to be in London, he wants it in a neutral city. So that's why they decided to put it in Phoenix, Arizona. honestly, guys, unless they stack that undercard, which they're not going to, it'll be lucky to reach 8,000 fans. Lucky. Now, it won't be nearly as sparsely populated as Regis Prograis versus Danielito Zorrilla, but you're not going to see a healthy crowd. Once again, Eddie Hearn does not know the American market. He doesn't. Outlaw says, ESPN is the reason PBC is still around. Well, of course. He gives them all their TV dates. You could actually make a case for Hearn saying, or DAZN saying, hey, DAZN is the only reason why Hearn is still around and Matchroom Sport. You could say the same thing for Top Rank. Well, ESPN is the only reason why Top Rank is still around. Well, you're breaking new ground there, Copernicus. Joey Chats says, Canelo probably wants more money. Of course. Of course he does. And guys, don't be surprised if he wins both the Charlo and Spence fights, if that's who he indeed picks. Don't be surprised if he holds out and wants to renegotiate his contract and demands more money for the Benavidez fight. I can see that happening. Right? I'm sure you guys all can as well. I want to give a shout out to my brother, Coach Gabe. What's up, Joseph? What's up with you, man? Hey, brother, if you can, click on the link. I would love to hear you break down this matchup. Right? The West Coast is basically Mexico. Brother, apparently you haven't been to San Francisco yet. Kamikaze says, I give Canelo 60% chance of the sweep. Benavidez has the best chance for the upset. I think all three of them have a chance for the upset, depending on which Canelo we see. If we see the guy who used to throw his hands in creative combination from mid to short range, with that beautiful upper body and head movement, those beautiful reflexes, that great, he needs to bend at the waist, that great shoulder roll. If we see that guy again, yeah, I think he has a very good chance for the sweep. And honestly, I think he has a very good chance of beating Benavidez. Honestly, I think the guy who has, if he's still Jamal Charlo, looking at the style matchup, I think he has the best chance of pulling off the upset. But once again, obviously everyone knows that that's the reason why he's choosing Jamal Charlo at this time, right? That's the reason why. Yeah, man, Coach Gabe is very, very sharp. I would love to hear what he thinks about this matchup. And once again, I met Coach Gabe on Gems channel, Boxing Gems, right? Very sharp, very proficient. Okay. Will says this. What if Spence loses the Bud fight? Who takes the third spot to face Canelo? Like I stated in the outset, win or lose, guys. Spence is a very good possibility. He will, unless he takes a ton of damage and is forced to retire and has another detached retina. And once again, this is boxing. Anything can and often does happen. This is the theater of the unexpected. You just never know. Look how the Super Six. It's very hard to anticipate what's going to happen in this sport, even if you do have a great understanding of the business. Look at the way the Super Six played out. Look at the first six participants, how it started out and how it ended. It was unrecognizable, right? With Froch and Ward being the last two standing. But yeah, they had to replace several opponents or several fighters who didn't want to complete the tournament, right? Jesus Sam says, Joe, win, lose, draw, as long as the fights are competitive, entertaining, action-packed, like 1 and 2, Triple G versus Canelo, then Canelo has done it for Mexican fans. Yes, sir. It'll be very hard to criticize and say anything negative about Canelo Alvarez. Want to welcome our brother Khalid to the show. Salute, Joseph. What do you think of Josh Franco missing weight by 6 pounds and being stripped for his Ioka fight? You know what? I heard he was having trouble making weight. This is shocking, though, to me. And when I found out the news around midnight last night, yeah, I was shocked, even though I did know that he was having trouble making weight. Guys, there's no excuse for this. None. Once again, James Gogi brought this up on Sunday Night Show. In the 90s, guys, how often did you hear of fighters missing their weight? You didn't. But it's become an epidemic. You know why? Because they're allowing these assholes to weigh in at 9 a.m. in the morning, and they're trying to weight bully. We've been consistent on this channel telling you that it is very unhealthy for the sport to allow these fighters. Now, it's not unhealthy for the fighters. Well, kind of. Because they're trying to still compete in very unnatural weight divisions. But it's very unhealthy for the sport overall to have these guys and give them 36 to 40 hours to rehydrate. What's the point of having weight divisions? But this is what you get. This is what you get. When you allow these fighters and these teams that much time to rehydrate, and you have a 7 a.m. weigh-in, a 9 a.m. weigh-in, this is what you get. You get guys who are trying to kill themselves to make weight, trying to compete in unnatural divisions, trying to get that advantage on fight night. And it's bullshit, guys. Bullshit. I can't stand it. In my opinion, they need to go to, at the very least, weigh-ins at 24 hours before, at the very least. Why? Why can't they do that? But that's exactly, though, why we're seeing so many guys miss weight. We never saw this in the past when we had same-day weigh-ins, when we had weigh-ins at 8 or 9 o'clock the night before. We never had that, guys. We never had that problem. Trey Finer says, you know, Canelo is, Joseph. I don't know what that means. Please clarify, sir, because I always value your commentary. But Coach Gabe says, oh, I can't. Ah, damn, that sucks. I'm about to get on a film study with Gems. Oh, I can't wait to see it. But I'll definitely get on one of your broadcasts. I'll be checking for one of your lives. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, my friend. We do this at least once a week, WAWR Week Radio Chats, right? Please hit the notification bell, my friend, so you stay informed. I appreciate that, man. And Gabe also says, Coach Gabe says, I appreciate the offer. Brother, the honor would be mine. You've got a very sharp eye. Once again, you've got that trainer's eye. And I love featuring trainers on this show. And you would be exceptional. You're exceptional whenever I speak to you on Boxing Gem show, Ryan's show. So the honor would be mine, sir. Thank you. Dre says, I wanted to see Canelo versus Bivol at 168. Well, unfortunately, Canelo didn't. And that's why that fight wasn't made, guys. And you can't blame Canelo for not wanting to take him on at 68. Can you imagine if he lost all of his belts to Bivol at 168 as well? Wow. Joey Chaz says, I'm probably going to stream all the Canelo pay-per-view fights. What else is new, brother? Now, be honest, Joey. When is the last time you've actually paid for a pay-per-view fight? And while you're typing in your answer, I'm going to take a shot. Guys, here's to all of you. And at the hour mark, guys, I'll do my best. Now, once again, I'm not Coach Gogi. I'm not Coach Ronnie. And I'm not Coach Gabe. But I will do my best to give you my interpretation and my breakdown and let you know what I see. So here's to you guys. Here's to you, Joey Chaz, you cheap bastard. Happy Friday to everyone, and God bless all of you. And I hope you guys stay safe this weekend in whatever festivities you embark upon. Here you go, guys, down the hatch. Guys, I know, hold on. Technology is too good. And once again, that's two with two O's, brother. Technology is too good not to stream. Well, these fights are too good for you to be getting this shit for free, brother. 2023, that's been one of the best years that we've seen so far. And the year's not over. It's been one of the best years that you've seen since the new millennium. There have been maybe only a handful of years that compare to this. And you don't want to pay a dime for this shit? Brother, you can kiss my ass and get off my platform, my channel forever then. I hope you're joking, my friend. Please tell me that you're joking. Joey, please tell me that you're joking, my brother. I hope you are. Because once again, these fights are way too good to be streaming them illegally. I think you're just joking. Chingalo, brother. No, once again, guys, it's actually pronounced chingado. But me being the beaner that I am, yes, I say chingao. Joey says, I'm joking. I know you are. I knew you were, dude. You're a great fan. And once again, I expect a lot from our Warwick Radio extended family, right? And you're one of our extended family members. And thank you, brother. Once again, guys, if you are interested, shoot me an email at collinsheron2112@gmail.com so you can get your own Coach Go Gear, Coach Ronnie Shields t-shirt. I also have hoodies, but they're not going to be available until the fall for the obvious reasons. So that's the way the shirt looks. Hold on. That's the shirt, guys. That's the way they look, right? With the inverted logo on the black, over the black background, right? Yeah, man. And Ronnie and Gogi are both very, very happy with it, right? They're very happy with the design of the shirt. And I just sent one to Ronnie, sent one to Gogi, right? Hold on. When will we see Virgil Staniones face off, Joseph? Next week, sir. Next week. No. I jumped the gun. It's going to be the following week. You're going to see him face off on Wednesday. In a little less than 2 weeks from now. And I'll be right there, guys. I'm going to go all the press events, and you'll see my big moon pie face on someone's video, I'm sure. And I'll be shooting a lot of footage for that fight as well. Interviews with Ronnie, interviews with Goldie Fishnets, interview with my brother Eric Gomez. And I just did find this out too. I was hoping to spend time with my brother Rick Glazier. But he just called me yesterday and said he wasn't going to be able to make it to San Antonio. But he is responsible for 2 of the undercard matches. So, yeah, I was really looking forward to that. But that's when we're going to see it. Sid UK, welcome to the show, sir. He says, who do you see winning the Virgil fight, Joseph? Oh, to me, it's a pick'em fight, guys. In my opinion, I've seen Virgil in the gym at Ronnie's gym at the old Plex when Ronnie used to train him. And I've seen Virgil up close and personally. And in my opinion, it's a pick'em fight. Flip a coin, guys. Both have a tremendous jab. One of the most intelligent in boxing. Both of them. Both have good footwork. Both have great crack in their shot. But I would have to say the more explosive puncher would be Virgil Ortiz. But in lieu of I guess considering that he's had these huge health problems lately. Gosh, that's a pick'em fight. Guys, I'm not going to be able to tell you that until I see the weigh-in because both fighters are going to be killing themselves to make weight. From what I've been told, both fighters are having trouble having trouble. They're going to have trouble coming down the stretch making 147, both of them. I think they're both professionals. They're both going to do it, but they're both having trouble. They're struggling right now, staying under 147. Right? You're going to have a hard time. They're staying in that range right now, right? And this is when you should be peaking in sparring. This is when you're starting to taper off, right? And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm not going to make my prediction until the weigh-in, right? Joey Chad says, Joseph, who wins Valdez versus Vaquero? This is I tell you who will win for sure, the fans. This might be fight of the year, guys. But I will say this. In the immortal words of George W. Bush, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, won't get fooled again. I think I'm not betting against Oscar Valdez again in a matchup of this nature. I think he does the alacran. I think he alacrans Vaquero, Navarrete. I think he does his best Burchelt impression and puts him to sleep. But, man, that Emmanuel Navarrete, though, man, good Lord. You can't predict where this guy's going to throw his punches. He reminds me of a featherweight version, super featherweight version of Marcos Maidana. Great chin, heavy hands, throws punches from just strange angles. Very difficult to prepare for someone like that. Absolutely killing their bodies. Great body shot from either. And night. Yeah, I'm with you, Jesus. Navarrete is too awkward for Oscar. That very well may be the case. But Oscar, boy, he's got that ultimate neutralizer. That left hook is something special. Ooh. I love it. But, guys, let's go to the main event of the evening. Here's the tell the tape for the Hitman, Jermall Charlo from Houston, Texas. Guys, he's going to come to the ring in September, on September 16th. He's going to come to the ring at age 33. He fights out of the orthodox stance. He stands 6'1" tall in the center of the ring. He fights behind a 73.5-inch reach from Houston, Texas. He comes into the ring with a perfect record of 32 wins, 0 losses, 22 big wins coming by way of knockout. Guys, the strengths and weaknesses, the pros and cons of Jermall Charlo. Guys, obviously, let's look at the pros first. Big, strong. He's got a huge size advantage over Canelo Alvarez. He's got heavy hands. Even though he's not considered a knockout artist with only 22 knockouts on his record, he's got heavy hands and he hurts every single one of his opponents when he fights them. His biggest attribute is not only his athleticism, but his jab. Guys, like I stated in the outset of the program, he's got a very intelligent one. And he uses it in very disjunct and sporadic intervals. So it's not only is it impossible to anticipate, but facing a counterpuncher like Canelo Alvarez, it's going to greatly disrupt his timing and rhythm. And because Jermall Charlo puts some starch behind it, some torque, yeah, it's going to make, if he establishes it early, he'll make Canelo think twice about just walking through the front door, just like he did against Sergey Derevyanchenko. He's got very good footwork. Not as good as Dimitri Bivol, but he's very athletic. He can move laterally. He's very good at setting traps for his opponents and walking them right into it. Just ask Dennis Hogan. Right? But, and he does have good crack in his shot. Excellent left hook. I think that's the shot that he caught Dennis Hogan with. Knocked him out in the 7th. And he's got a great right hand. Just ask Sergey Derevyanchenko. But I will say this, though. Here's the cons. 2-year layoff. His last fight was in, oh gosh, June of 2021, guys. That was 2 years ago. It'll be well over 2 years by the time he gets back in the ring. And we'll see if his back is completely healed. We'll see if his right hand is completely healed. Keep in mind, guys, he broke his hand in that fight. Is he now injury prone? Is he a little too old now at 33? And he's a hot and cold fighter. How did he look against Brandon Adams? Did he look great? He pitched a shutout, but he didn't look great. He knocked out Dennis Hogan, but he didn't look great. He got the decision against Matt Korobov, but he didn't look great. He's a very hot and cold fighter. He won almost every round against Juan Macias Montiel, but he didn't look great, and he was getting touched up with left hooks, overhand rights, uppercuts. Guys, if Montiel, who throws wide looping shots, can land and doesn't nearly have the hand speed of Canelo Alvarez, a sharpshooter with crisp, compact shots and great hand speed like Canelo Alvarez, he'll make him look, carve him up like a Halloween pumpkin. Those are the big cons. And guys, those are substantial weaknesses and cons going into this biggest fight of his career. But I will say this, he's hot and cold, right? But I will say this, and I pointed this out earlier in the show. He always gets up for his biggest fights. Those have been his best performances against his most difficult outings. It almost seems like when people doubt him or when he's going into it as a 50-50 fight or the underdog, keep in mind, he was favored for the Derevyanchenko fight, but a lot of people, including Teddy Atlas, they were picking the upset, right? J-Rock, same situation. Everyone going into that fight where it was a 50-50 fight, according to most. And a lot of people, including Teddy Atlas, was picking the upset. Going into this Canelo fight, he's going to be the substantial underdog. Right? That may be advantage Jamal. He's a dog. And the more emotional he gets, the more dialed in and focused he gets. When he goes into a matchup with that chip on his shoulder, that's an intangible. That's going to be very hard to read up until the weigh-in, up until we see them both in the same room. Up until we see them both in the same ring. But guys, make no mistake about it. There's a lot to like about Jermall Charlo physically and mentally. I will say this, though. He's a hot and cold fighter, but he does seem to be more dialed in and focused the more important the assignment is, right? So that's it. That sizes everything up for Jermall Charlo. Guys, let me know in the chat if I left out anything. I don't think I did, but, you know, no one's perfect. Maybe I did. Let me know if I forgot anything, guys. I will say this, though. One thing I did not mention, and I'm sorry about this, perhaps, guys, wait a minute. Hold on. Off topic, but I was rewatching a stream, and Joseph, I'm shocked. You actually think Cher looks good? She's like 300 years old and possibly the first ever transgender. I'm suspicious of her very much. Look, if I ever said Cher looked good, then it was when she was very young in the 60s or the 70s. Look, I don't care what you think, brother. Transgender my ass. I've never seen a guy look as hot as Cher when she was younger. You know what? When you say I'm suspicious of her very much, if you don't think she was smoking hot when she was younger with that beautiful Indian hair down to her ass, then I'm very suspicious of you, brother. Do you like women? I'm just kidding, brother. I'm just jiving you, my friend. Here to there says, thank you for joining us, Sid. I always loved your comments, my friend. Here to there says, proper analysis as usual, Joseph. As you stated, lots of questions with the layout, but we should see a highly motivated and hungry Charlo versus Canelo. Oh my gosh, Joey, come on. Who we share? Look, dude, I have to tell you, look up some old footage from their variety show, Sonny and Cher show. Brother, she was smoking hot, and that's the only reason why she became famous, because she's never been able to sing worth a shit. Never, even when she was younger. She's always sounded like Eddie Vedder. I'm still alive. She's always sounded like that. She sounds like dog shit. I got you, babe. I tell you what, that's one of the greatest mysteries in life, is how a guy like Sonny Bono ended up with a babe like Cher. One of the great mysteries of life, guys. Like, you know, and she had kind of a weird eye for her, what she was attracted to, right? Greg Allman. She was married to Greg Allman. Remember, she even has a kid with him. Greg Allman? That old, smelly hippie? Hold on. She was also the mother in the movie Elephant. No, not the Elephant Man. Mask. It was the Rocky Dennis story. True story. Right? Great movie. Cher, she did an amazing job in that movie. And she was with the coolest guy in Hollywood, Sam Elliott. Right? Now, once again, if you're a cinephile like I am, you love movies, I defy anyone to give me a movie or a role in which Sam Elliott wasn't the coolest guy on the screen. I'll wait. Anyway, I love that movie, Mask. Great movie. And yes, Dre has the beat. Captain and Tennille. You know what? Tony Tennille, here's a fun fact, guys. You want to hear some rock trivia? You remember that album, Dark Side of the Moon, right? You remember Dark Side of the Moon? Do you remember the first side on Time? You remember when the lady starts singing at the very end, that great gig in the sky? Tony Tennille is one of the female singers on Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. Fun fact, guys. You know what, guys, since we're talking about music, I'm going to play my single, right? And let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Share screen. I'm going to play this, guys, and see what you think. Okay? See what you guys think. I'm going to go ahead and play this. Tell me what you guys think, guys. Can you guys hear my song?
You wake from your sleep, and you wipe your eyes, you just can't believe it's only in your mind. People try and tell you who you are, but who knows you better than yourself? It's up to you to make your dreams come true. Open your eyes, the road easy to turn away with no one to catch you. If you fall, it's up to you to make your dreams come true. Open your eyes. The road ahead is easy to see. Look to the skies. The odyssey is waiting for me. Your dreams are only dreams until you try. Open your eyes. The road ahead is easy to see. Look to the skies. The odyssey is waiting for me, and it's calling me.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. That was me and my band, Red IV, red like intravenous, Red IV. No, I didn't come up with that stupid name. I joined into the band and we got signed. And I told G Funky actually the entire story. But yeah, that was me, not only on vocals, guys. I wrote that song and I played all of the guitars on it, played the bass on it, and actually did all the drums. That's me in the recording studio doing everything. We didn't have any strings during that song. That was just me on vocals doing backups. Yep. So thank you, Round One. I really appreciate that, man. And I tell you what, man. And yeah, that was G Funky. Boy, he's a guitar player. I would love to jam with you sometime, brother. I'm sure we could make some great music, man. Thank you, Bruce. I really appreciate you being here, man. But yeah, that was me. I wrote that song and recorded everything on it. And yeah, Sid has the beat. Well, we know why Joseph's voice is always messed up. He's a damn savage on the mic. I'm genuinely impressed. Thank you, Sid. I really appreciate that, my friend. Yeah, and I'm usually not a metal guy. And G Funky knows that. I'm usually not a metal guy. But I joined into the band and that's what they were playing at the time. Jesus says, good job, Joe. Thank you, my friend. I worked really hard on that, dude. Dre, you're a bad man. Thank you, brother. I work really hard. And once again, I'm working really hard to get back into recording and stage shape. And boy, it's going to be difficult. At my age, yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult, but I'm up for the challenge. I'll keep you guys informed. Yeah, we're going to be recording a CD in, I think our first day is 2 weeks, right? Sid says, that guitar work is very good. I don't even listen to rock, but I genuinely love the track. Thank you, man. And once again, if you guys are interested, it's called the, hold on, let me see. Hold on, no. Hold on. Okay, there it is. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, everywhere. That's the name of the song, Odyssey, Red Ivy. Now, guys, now that that's finished, and Dre, thank you, brother, for the vote of confidence. I appreciate it, my friend. I hope so, brother. Please pray for me because I really want to record a new album. And all the material's finished. They just need a singer. Unfortunately, their last singer, who was a very good singer, had like a 3.5 octave range as well. Apparently, he's had some real terrible equilibrium problems. And yeah, he's kind of all over the place right now, and they have to meet a deadline with their label. So they asked me if I could actually record all the songs on the album, which is going to be 9. So yeah, I've got a lot of work to do, guys, but wish me luck. And yeah, I'm going to be making a new album. Isn't that wonderful? Here to there, Mr. Aaron has some pipes. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it, man. Outlaw says, Joe, I heard you're going to be playing at the San Antonio Pride Festival this weekend. Is this true? I'm sorry, brother. I know you're going to be a part of that parade, probably Grand Marshal, but no, I'm not going to be there, bro. Sorry, dude. Sorry, man. Sorry. I'm a very devout Roman Catholic. Despite my drinking, yeah, I'm a very spiritual guy and a very devout Roman Catholic, and no, I don't support the Pride Festival. That's just my personal taste and preference. I got nothing against it. I just don't support it. That's it. And in the immortal words of Dre Finest, can you dig that, Outlaw? But no, I'm sorry. If you were hoping I was going to be there, no, you've got the wrong guy. Don't let the long hair fool you, Outlaw. But hey, you have fun when you're down there, brother. Love you, brother. Thank you for being here, sir. And Sid says, can you still hit the range of notes on that track? Or would it make your voice crack like an egg, brother? I have a much higher range than that, actually. That wasn't, those weren't my highest notes. Thank you, Dre. I really hope so, brother. I'm going to be working my ass off, dude. Yeah, my highest note is right now is a high G. High G. Now you look at middle C, that's 2 octaves above that, right? That's my highest note right now, even at age 55. Right? So yeah, I can hit much higher notes than that. Let's just hope I can do it on stage. I can do it live because I can do it in the studio, no problem. They'll just cut. Okay, now just hit that note again. And I'll do it, and they'll go press stop. They'll just punch me in, right? That's studio magic, my friends. But on stage, dude, you're going to be expected to do that. Everything that you record, you're going to be expected to perform. That's the hardest part, right? But I'm up for the challenge. But guys, we're just breaking balls, Joe. I knew you were, brother. God bless you, man. And thank you for being here, Outlaw. We really appreciate you being here, my friend. I love your commentary. Even though it's trolling me at times, I do appreciate you being here, and I love reading your commentary. It makes me laugh. Punchy, thank you for joining us, my friend. Iron Maiden or Judas Priest? Wow. That is tough, man. I love me some Judas Priest. I love me some Maiden. In fact, last cover band I was in, I sang Run to the Hills, and I sang The Trooper from Iron Maiden, and on that same band. I also sang You Got Another Thing Coming, and then I sang Electric Eye, both off the Screaming for Vengeance album. If I had to choose, though, oh, shit. If I had to choose, I'd probably say Judas Priest. Rob Halford is one of my favorite singers of all time, but so is Bruce Dickinson of Maiden. Yeah, that's a tough one, guys. That I say, push. I don't want to pick. I don't want to pick that. That's like trying to pick who's your favorite lead singer of Black Sabbath. Is it Ozzy or Ronnie James Dio? That's impossible. Joey Chaz, do you like Spanish rock? I like Mexican rock. You talking about Maná? I love Maná, dude. Who doesn't love Maná, bro? Sid UK says, do these smaller bands still get groupies? Brother, even at age 50, right? Yeah, but I will say this. Don't take him past the bedroom, brother, because that's all drama. And I found out the hard way, my friend. Found out the hard way. That's why I don't travel anymore, because one, well, anyway, I'm not going to share that with you, but put it this way. Yeah, I was in a debilitating car accident because of one of them, who yanked the wheel and it capsized and it rolled our car. And I ended up breaking my hip, my pelvis, tearing my ACL, basically shattering my entire left side. That's why I don't travel anymore. And that's why I got released from my label. And yeah, it was a really, really terrible time in my life. But so, yes, you still get groupies. Just keep them that way and don't try to enter into a relationship with any of them. Word of advice, word of advice. And there it is, guys. And there it is. Punchy says, you never got into Cafe Tacuba. No, but I'll check it out, brother. Thank you for mentioning that. Sid UK also says, imagine being on tour with the British great Ozzy Osbourne in his prime. He was on some major drugs. Look, dude, and G Funky will tell you. I was in a cover band and I do impressions, if you haven't already noticed on the show. I do a mean Ozzy impression, right? And if you guys are nice, I'll close us out with some Ozzy singing some old Black Sabbath. How's that? I'll do some a cappella if my throat can hang. But guys, let's end this show. We're at the 90-minute mark, so let's close us out with the pros and cons of the current king of super middleweight, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Guys, he's going to come to the ring at age 32. He fights out of the orthodox stance. He stands 5'8" tall in the center of the ring, and he fights behind a 70.5-inch reach from Guadalajara, Mexico. He comes into the ring with a fine record, 59 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins coming by way of knockout. Guys, what are the pros and cons of Saul Canelo Alvarez? I will say this. Leading up to his assault on 168 pounds, boy, he looked unbeatable, a complete fighter. Now, keep in mind, guys, I was working with Don Chargan and Golden Boy while he was still at 54, right? And so I know, and this was when, in fact, one of Gogi's fighters, Keandre Gibson, was his chief sparring partner, preparing for Floyd Mayweather Jr., right? And we saw back then in the gym, wow, boy, this guy is, he's got a lot of work. He's got a hard road to hoe, man, because if he can't cut off the ring proficiently against Keandre Gibson, he's going to get torn up by Floyd Mayweather, and that he did, right? That he did. You know what, Joey Chaz? Remind me of this before I leave, because I've got a lot to talk about that, right? In my opinion, that's a huge part of why you're seeing Canelo Alvarez start to break down before our very eyes. As well, okay, I'm going to get into that in just a bit. But Canelo Alvarez, guys, and I knew, well, he doesn't know how to cut off the ring. Like, he looked like he was following around Gogi's fighter, who did a very decent, very good impression of Floyd Mayweather Jr. that day in the gym, right? Once again, he was his chief sparring partner in preparation for Floyd. And we knew then that Floyd was going to whoop his ass. And the only reason why that fight actually happened, and once again, I was there, is because Don Chargan, my mentor, he said, look, he was a senior advisor for Golden Boy at the time. And he said, look, guys, he's not going to get knocked out. He's not going to embarrass himself. This is a fight I don't think he can win. It's way too soon. But it's too much money. And we think just the exposure will put him in that next level category of world-class boxing attraction. And he was right. He always was. And when you're in this business for 50 years, yeah, you're right. Right? So that's why Golden Boy became Golden Boy, because of Don Chargan. But we knew back then that Canelo wasn't the complete fighter. Well, guess what? They kept him at that absurd catch weight of 155 for over a year, because he was still developing that new wrinkle of becoming the effective aggressor. They didn't want to send him up to 60 or 68 until he developed the ability to cut off the ring and close the distance effectively. Become the effective aggressor, right? So now, after developing that, after moving up to 168, boy, he looked like a beast, a complete fighter, a guy who worked every minute of every round, and a guy who still, once again, all of the attributes of Canelo Alvarez, one of the best, most creative combination punchers in boxing. Very difficult to anticipate where those punches are going to come from, to the body and head. He's got some of the best radar between his eyes, the best reflexes in boxing. He's one of the most defensively responsible fighters in boxing. And he's got some crack in his shot. He combines speed with power that makes him explosive, right? And he seems to be competing in his prime weight at 168. Not so much 175. And at 160, he can't work for all 3 minutes of every round, right? At 68, though, guys, he is a beast. And he is the best fighter in the division. Once again, outside of Dave Morrell Jr. But for this conversation, yeah, he's the undisputed champ for a reason, guys. He's a great, great fighter. You could plop him in any era, and he would do just fine. He would be very competitive, right? Say what you want about Alvarez. He is the truth. That guy's he's a bad dude, right? Yeah, he's one of the best fighters of this generation. Okay, now the cons now. Now I'm going to bring up this point, Joey Chaz, right? In my opinion, during his prime years, during that assault on 168, well, in my opinion, this is a result of him juicing. Yes, I know I shouldn't be saying that in public, but I don't give a shit. They're not paying me. I'm not making money off of PBC, despite popular sentiment. I ain't making any money off of anybody. So I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. That motherfucker's he's been juicing his entire career. And now you're starting to see him slide. And guess what, guys? It's going to be a very quick decline. You're starting to see him get injured more. He's looking flat. He can't pull the trigger as well as he used to anymore. Exactly, Jesus. He used to be the best combination, most creative combination puncher in boxing. Just like JMM, Juan Manuel Marquez. He doesn't do that anymore. He loads up on every shot. He's fallen in love with his power. That's a huge mistake. And it's going to cost him against a fighter like Jamal Charlo if he can't hurt him. What happened to his combination punching? We haven't seen it in his last 2 fights. 3 fights. What happened? Once again, guys, this is what happens when you're juicing, right? You see greatness. The apex of it is athleticism. And then all of a sudden, you fall off a cliff. Look at Roy Jones. Back after the John Ruiz fight, how did he look for the rest of his career? Guys, I am predicting, in my opinion, and this is a very unpopular one, I'm a big fan of Canelo, if you must know. Once again, I don't let my true feelings or emotions be known in terms of who my favorite fighters are in boxing. But Canelo's one of them. I'll admit that. I've always been a huge fan of Canelo, but I will say this. You're going to see a huge drop-off, and we've already started to see it. Don't be shocked if Jamal Charlo wins this fight. Don't be shocked. Larry Liston has a very good point. Perhaps going up and down in weight is effective as cardio and mentality. Well, I will say this. This is the problem with doing PEDs, right? And juicing to the gills. It weakens your aorta. That ultimately saps your cardio. Okay? That's why you see him sucking wind now towards the end of the fight. He's getting older. And it's a product of juicing. And I know it's going to be I'm going to get lambasted when people listen back to this, but I don't give a shit. I really don't. PBC doesn't do testing, so Canelo wins. No, they do testing. They just don't report it to the media or anyone else. It's no one's business but theirs. Tyrese Bowie says, I'll bet my left. No, dude, you're a man. You should never bet your nuts, bro. I know what you're saying, though. Welcome to the show, sir. He says, I'll bet my left nut and yours that Canelo wins the fight. Brother, that's not a stretch. He's going to be favored going into it. But I will say this. Don't be shocked if he loses. Once again, this fight is so intriguing. And I will say this once again. I defy anyone. Because a lot of people have been shown this is a bullshit fight. We want to see Benavidez. Well, you're going to get it. You're just going to have to wait a little bit. September 2024, you're going to get it. Okay, so quit bitching. Quit belly aching. You're going to get it. Until then, what's wrong with this matchup? What would you rather see instead of this matchup? Is there another matchup that looks better than this on paper? There are many different PEDs, including PEDs to help with cardio. Obviously, those aren't the ones that Canelo has been taking. He's all about strength. He's all about power, right? So there are many different PEDs, including PEDs that help with cardio. And Jamal typically has a solid work rate. Yes, he does, including establishing that beautiful lead sledgehammer intelligent jab, which he uses in sporadic intervals. If he can out-hustle Canelo, he can make it interesting. Yes, sir. That's exactly what I'm saying. Here to there, you've got the beat. If Charlo runs, oh, shut up, dude. Dude, have you ever seen Jamal Charlo run in a fight? Quote unquote, run, whatever the hell that means. In fact, that may be his undoing. He's got too much dog in him for his own good. I wonder how odds makers will have Canelo. Look, I'm going to guess they start the odds at a 4-1 betting favorite, Canelo Alvarez, and have Charlo as a plus 300 or a 3-1 betting underdog. You're not going to see 8-1. That's fucking ridiculous. Like, that's ridiculous. In my opinion, and I'm usually very good at this, right? As far as handicapping, I can see them opening up the line at a minus 400 and plus 300, respectively, right? Take it to the bank, brother. That's what you're going to see. And if you see anything wider, holy shit. Boy, I put some long green on Maul every day, brother. But anyway, guys, that's interesting, though, man. I like Canelo. He is so good for the sport. He fights great opposition. He's got a fan-friendly style. He's got a lot of power. He's got the huge Mexican fan base on his shoulders. And I love it. I love it. It's so great for the health of the sport. Guys, the more active he is, the better the sport is, and the better the health of the sport is. Guys, there's so much to love about this. And you know what? I commend him for jumping ship and signing a deal to make the best fights, the ones that we want to see, a reality. Guys, if I hear anyone saying anything negative about Canelo Alvarez, I'm gonna assume mental illness. Because at this time, with him signing with PBC and potentially taking on Charlo, Spence, and Benavidez, is there anything negative anyone can say about him? I defy anyone to find something. we should all tip our hat to him. Tell you what, we should all tip our hat to W.A.W for pricing himself out like a mamon. What an idiot. What an idiot. Guys, we wouldn't be seeing this fight if he didn't have that inflated sense of worth. So we should all send W.A.W a nice fruit basket or something, man. Will Spence pull out of the button? Yeah, stop it, dude. That's going to be a great fight, guys, and I hope you guys all purchase that. Where's the fight taking place? Raiders Stadium? No, it's in Astros Stadium, Minute Maid Park, Houston, Texas. Hasn't been announced yet, and it's not even finalized yet. And I'm not supposed to say anything. Yet I am, because it's Friday, damn it. But anyway, guys, that's about it. My voice has had about enough. Like I said, I was, hold on, let me get some water in me. I had to drink some water, guys. My apologies. But, guys, I was practicing for about an hour and a half on my vocals on the new songs that I'm slated to record in a couple weeks. So my voice is about had it after an hour and 42 minutes of being live with you gents on the air. But I have to say this, guys. This is a great matchup. Yes, we would have all loved to have seen it 3 or 4 years ago, right? But unfortunately, we're getting it now. When Jamal Charlo has had a 2-year layoff, so what, though? Better late than never. And to be honest with you, like I said, you shouldn't complain, and I don't want to hear anyone complain about this. One, Canelo's going to fight Benavidez next year, right? As part of the 3-fight deal. 2, give me a different matchup that is more attractive than this one and of another fighter who's more deserving of this one. Keep in mind, guys, once again, this is not official. I was just told by Ronnie Shields that it's not a done deal yet. But let me let you in on a little secret. Yeah, it looks really close to happening. Anyway, guys, I love all of you. Thank you so much for being our WAWR Week Radio extended family. And it's so good to spend time with you guys. And like I said, I love these WAWR Week Radio chat shows because I usually don't get to air out my genuine feelings on any of these shows with Rick Glazier, James Gogi, and the incomparable Coach Ronnie Shields. So I love these shows, and I love hearing what you guys think. But I will say this, good news, guys. Rick Glazier, I forgot to tell you guys this. I can't believe this. Rick Glazier is going to be a permanent fixture on this show every Monday night. How do you guys like that? So, guys, what a hell of a lineup, man, we have on the WAWR Week Radio Network, right? On Sunday, James Gogi, right? Monday, Rick Glazier. Tuesday, Ronnie Shields. And then the rest of the week, WAWR Week Radio Chats with either myself or I may have a guest with G Funky or may have a guest with James from the Boxing Source, Big JR. So, guys, this is going to be great. I can't wait. Hold on. Larry W.A.W, welcome to the show, sir. We're at the tail end. We're getting ready to sign off, but I'm glad you made it. He says, if Canelo gets past Charlo and meets Benavidez, should there be Olympic-style drug testing in regards to Canelo's past and Benavidez's current helper, Memo Heredia? Look, guys, I will say this. Drug testing in any sport has become a joke. Have you ever wondered why new drugs keep on getting added to the banned drug list? Have you ever wondered why new drugs keep on getting added to that list every single year? Because these guys are ahead of the curve. New drugs, they're engineering new drugs, and they get them from South America, and they're continuously being used and interjected into the sport to stay ahead of the curve. That's why you're always seeing new drugs get added to the fucking list. I hope that makes sense to you guys. And that's all about, I shouldn't have even said that, but that's all I can say. And Joey Chaz surprisingly has the beat here. Everyone is on PEDs. It's the new normal. Sad but true, guys. Sad but true. If you want to compete at the elite level in any sport, you snooze, you lose. That's it, guys. It's sad but true. That's the truth about every professional sports. Double L. You know what I'm telling you is true. You know what I'm telling you is true. And I've known this for look, when I first started covering this sport, this was a huge, huge topic. And I was all over it. And I was going to be the real until I found out that everyone was fucking doing it. I stopped covering it. I stopped giving a shit. I'm like, look, if these fighters don't care and they're the ones who are taking the risks, why should fans give a shit? Why should writers give a shit? It's their head that someone's trying to cave in, not mine. If the fighters don't give a shit, why should we? May the best juice win, in my opinion. That's why I stopped giving a shit a long time ago. Okay, Outlaw, is this a new line that you just saw that was just created today or yesterday? Canelo's minus 245. Maul's no. Honestly, I'm not shocked. Because once again, guys, I've told you, this is a very attractive matchup. All three proposed matchups are very competitive, and don't be shocked if Canelo loses at least one of the big three. With, once again, guys, the big three being Charlo, Spence, and Benavidez. I wouldn't be surprised if he lost two. Guys, because these are all great fights, great matchups, and they're going to be all action. Guys, feel good about all of this. This is so good for the health of the sport. And I tell you what, no one should be criticizing Canelo at this time. He is so good for the health of the sport, and he's a future Hall of Famer and an all-time great. Hallelujah. But I will say this, guys. It's been an absolute honor to be able to share the air with you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for hanging with me this Friday. You guys all mean a great deal to me. And before I leave, before I forget, guys, let me leave my email in case you want to get your own WAWR Week Radio t-shirt, okay, with either the Gogi, and please let me know if you want the Gogi or Ronnie Shields t-shirt, or even both, guys. But I need to know how many to print up, okay, so I can get them all out to you within the next week, all right? And the more I have printed up at one time, the bigger price break I get, so it'll be cheaper for you guys. So once again, I'm not making any money off this. I just want to get something for you guys just to let you know that I'm really, really honored and very appreciative that you guys are hanging with me and that I get to spend time with all of you. It means a great deal to me. And honestly, I don't know what I'd do without you guys. I love talking shop with you guys. I love talking boxing. And I value all of your opinion. And I brag about you guys all the time that you guys are indeed among the most intelligent in all of YouTube and in all of the entire boxing community. With that said, guys, my voice is about shot. Thank you for hanging with me. And guys, don't forget, send me an email. Let me know what size you wear. Let me know what shirts you want. Guys, I'll get them right out next week. But I need to know what size you are and need to know how many to print. But guys, on behalf of, everyone here on WAWR Week Radio, Big Rick, Big Gogi, and Big Ronnie, myself, I'm Joseph Heron. You've been listening to WAWR Week Radio. Guys, I hope all of you have a wonderful, safe weekend. Have a great weekend, everybody.
We rolled down the hills last night. want your eyes and your lingering affection. I just want your eyes and your lingering affection.
HighSaga.com and Halftime Pizza proudly present WAWR Week Radio Chat.